Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. For one final time this season, welcome back to another match preview video, the final one of the 21-22 campaign. Yeah, it's not been a fun one, but of course I've enjoyed having you along for the ride for these match previews that we've done consistently throughout the season. I think we must have only missed a couple as the campaign's gone on. But today's will focus on the final game of the season, which is West Bromwich Albion versus Barnsley, which is a 12:30 kickoff at the Hawthorns in the EFL Championship. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Of course, Barnsley, already relegated, have been in a bit of a sticky situation all season. And Albion, I suppose, looking to get into the top half and stay there and keep in that sort of top 10 zone. But yeah, before we crack on with this match preview, where of course we'll be taking you through all of the predicted lineups for both sides, we'll be taking you through the stats and facts for the opposition, and also a little bit of a score prediction at the end. Make sure you subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. This won't be the end of sort of videos throughout the summer. There'll be lots coming, especially post-season content. We've got a podcast planned, looking back at the season, a season review if you like. We've got some sort of keep and sell videos that I've got planning in the works to plan. So yeah, make sure you stick around, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you get ready for those that are coming throughout the summer. And of course, any transfer news, any updates that I can give you will be coming on this channel as well. So this is your one-stop shop for Albion updates throughout the summer and of course pre-season next season as well. But yeah, let's crack on. It's match preview time. It's West Bromwich Albion versus Barnsley. You're watching the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. For match previews, match day vlogs, match reactions and more, make sure to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. So let's crack on and talk West Bromwich Albion versus Barnsley, starting with the away side who travelled down from Oakwell for this EFL Championship fixture, and they are sat bottom of the second tier table. As I mentioned, already down, already relegated. It's been a really difficult season for Barnsley, for their fans especially. Yeah, I think this is definitely, I think, just like Albion, but in a definite worse measure. It's definitely one to forget for the Tykes fans, really. Below two teams at the moment with points deductions to their name in Reading and Derby County as well. Yeah, it's just 11 points from safety now. I know they're already down, but that's such a massive margin, especially with the team outside the relegation zone having a points deduction and one inside it being below them as well. Yeah, relegated with 3 games left to play after a defeat at Huddersfield Town. Of course, last season doing so well to get into 5th in the table. Yeah, and as I said, really impressing the EFL Championship under Valérien Ismaël, who I'm sure we're all familiar with his time at Albion early this season. Of course, came from Barnsley after we paid his release clause. But yeah, I think it's difficult at the moment to kind of look at this Barnsley side and see whether they'll come back up next season from League One, because I do think about them, and I think that a lot of players that have been particularly key to them will actually go. I think, you know, I look at people like Callum Styles. I can't see him being there next season. He's a really tidy player. Yeah, I just can't see them sticking around, and I can't see a couple of the key players staying. So yeah, arguably it's going to be difficult. But Barnsley, of course, currently managed by Martin Devaney, formerly I think I've convinced Harry as a little bit, Cheltenham Town. Quite a few appearances for them as well during his playing career, but caretaker boss at the moment following the sacking of Poya Asbaghi. Of course, we played against his Barnsley side earlier in the season, just before Christmas. It was a 0-0 draw away at Oakwell, but yeah, he's been sacked. I think he failed to. It was one of the longest running, longest wait for a win, I think, that Barnsley have had for quite some time. It's a dire campaign ending with plenty of first team names out injured or just not playing because they're planning on leaving the club. They're not part of this rebuild that's probably going to take place next season. But yeah, they've been really poor this season, Barnsley, and really disappointed. I think a lot of people thought they might push on and maybe go that one step further to that playoff semi-final and get themselves up. But yeah, it just wasn't to be, and I think a lot of Tykes fans and Barnsley fans will be really disappointed with the way this season's gone. It's been a bit of a season from hell. You know, we thought that they were going from fairy tale into a fairy tale, really, with the way they were playing and the way that they were zipping the ball about and getting themselves into that top 6. But yeah, it's really frustrating that they haven't managed to do that. And yeah, I think that a lot of Barnsley fans have had it up to here really with watching them this season, but I'm sure they'll be ready to go again next season. They're a really loyal bunch. But top scorer is Carlton Morris with 7 goals. That is an astronomically low amount for the EFL Championship. Even Carlan Grant has managed over double that. So yeah, he's been sort of their main talisman, if you like, if we can call him that. He's not been great either. That's the disappointing thing. That's really not a lot for the EFL Championship. The next top goal scorer is Corley Woodrow on 4 goals. So yeah, it's really disappointing. So their lack of goals has really been to blame for it. Top assist is Amin Bassi, who's been on loan from Metz from January. So he's their top assister already with 5 assists. Only been on loan since January. Yeah, I think the problem with Barnsley is they've invested a lot in youth players and younger players to come in and play first team football in the interest of hopefully buying younger players and investing in them and selling them when they obviously reach their top market value. But it's a shame because that's actually led to their detriment this season. They've had lots of young players, lots of loan players, lots of younger players coming in rather than that much needed championship experience that I think they had last season with Valerian Ismail. But yeah, their creativeness and their goal scoring prowess has not been very good this season. Big chances created. They're 24th in the division with only 32. Albion have exactly double that with 64 big chances created throughout the season. Goals per game, 24th with 0.7 goals per game. So yeah, Barnsley are in a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure they'll be able to come out back up next season with the way that they've been. But yeah, I think predicted 11-wise, it's pretty young and it's pretty threadbare in terms of the squad depth. They've got a lot of youth players played on the bench in that last game against Preston North End. In goal, they've got Walton. I must say, I know about 4 players out of this side, which is quite worrying. Jasper Moon at centre-back with Straha. Centre-back in the middle, in a back 3 with Liam Kitchen. I think we were linked with him at the beginning of the season. Callum Stiles at left wing-back. He's quite a tidy little player. Honda Mark at right wing back, Massey Wolf in centre midfield, Aidan Marsh, a young lad, in centre midfield alongside him, Adebayejo at right wing, and Carlton Morris at front with Kark Order at left wing back. As you can tell, I had to look to read those out. I normally don't have to, but to be honest, I genuinely don't have a clue for quite a few of those. Yeah, it's difficult, but West Brom, moving on to ourselves, of course, not been the best season for us either. Maybe not in comparison to what Barnsley have gone through, but yeah, 10th in the EFL Championship, aiming for that top half finish. I suppose as Steve Bruce keeps plugging it, will still be the lowest finish for Albion since 2000, which is quite worrying. But Steve Bruce has confirmed, Ron Gourlay, CEO of Albion at the moment, has confirmed Steve Bruce to be in charge next season. He shares the vision with Bruce. Ron Gourlay does a major rebuilding coming apparently, but only on the cheap, of course, at Albion. There isn't very much money available to spend, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to get the best out of the free transfer market and the loan market, which, yeah, if we're honest, we did do that quite a while ago with Slaven Bilic. So I'm hoping that will happen again. Maybe we can make use of that loan market once again. So yeah, it's going to be difficult, but there's a lot to look forward to really next season. Hopefully we can see a new set of players, less of the old set of players, really. And of course you guys can watch that because season tickets have now been released. I've just jotted that down because this literally about 40 minutes ago I saw this news. Great prices for younger fans at the Hawthorns next season for season tickets. £23 for an under 17 season ticket is absolutely outstanding value, and the club should take great credit for making that football accessible for younger audiences, and them not being priced out of watching the football, because you feel like I know it goes up in sort of tiers and age groups and it gets more expensive as you get older really. I think it's nice to see a lot of these being frozen and a lot of younger fans not being priced out of watching their club. Yeah, my category personally is 17 to 19 year olds. That's £99, so I'm absolutely delighted with the way that's gone and how much money we've got to, well, how much money that you save with that, watching your team every week. It's really good to see. And yeah, I think this won't deter many people from going away. 20 to 25-year-olds are £199, and adult prices have been frozen for the next season. So yeah, fair play to the club. That's a really good pricing to watch second tier football. But yeah, they ought to be really, really pleased with themselves for the way they've done that, and that'll encourage a lot of people to renew, I'm sure. It'll encourage me to renew. I certainly wasn't in any doubt about that, but yeah, I'll definitely be renewing next season. But yeah, will you be renewing? Drop your comments down below. Have you seen the prices? Are you pleased with them? How would you feel about coming back to the Hawthorns next season? Drop your comments down below on whether you might renew. Predicted 11 time though. Alex Palmer, I've gone for N'Golo. Quite like to see him given a shot between the sticks for the last game of the season. Right back, I think I'm going to go for that back four because Steve Bruce has said that's what he wants to play in the future. Dara O'Shea at right back, Matt Clark and Shemi Ajayi at centre back with Zach Ashworth in the left back position. Connor Townsend not available, neither is Kyle Bartley for this one. Kyle Bartley's twisted his ankle and Connor Townsend just isn't in the squad at all. I'd like to see Zach Ashworth given a go. He played really well last time against Reading. He came off the bench and on his league debut and didn't let anybody down for definite. So yeah, that would be good to see if he gets another go. I think Taylor Gardner-Hickman at right midfield might be a nice shout. Maybe in a midfield three with Jason Malumbi and Jake Livermore perhaps, with Matt Phillips, Carlan Grant on a wing, and maybe Dean Garner down the middle, or Carlan Grant down the middle perhaps. I think it's very interchangeable, but I think it could work in that formation, and hopefully that's something that we might see from Bruce. But my prediction, I'm actually going to go for 2-0 Albion. I think Barnsley are a really poor side, and yeah, I'm confident that perhaps we can get a victory. But yeah, drop your comments, your predictions down below. Drop me your thoughts on the season ticket prices next season. Will you be renewing? Leave me your predicted lineups, whatever you want to leave in the comment section, your thoughts ahead of the game. But thank you very much for watching these match previews throughout the season. For one final time, that's the end of this match preview, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.